Hey everybody, Trail Ducker here, and doing playthroughs of Design League 4.2. Um, Starting in alphabetical order, so this is the first one I'm doing, and doing Bobby J's. I never realized this last time I loved the gamer tag Castor Troy. um, yeah, so this is on the Fair Play competition, which is basically to have no um, hazards around and just use fairway and green sculpting to create strategy. So yeah, let's start this. Let me make sure I'm on the only one tee set, and I'll do it at 3, and then set the speed to low, wind speed, just to not have it affect anything. And let me start a little playlist. Alright. So the results aren't finalized yet, but I can kind of know where everybody is. So this is pretty safely in the top 3. First hole, you kind of see he added a little bit of planting around the perimeter and a little town and a cool kind of abandoned castle. A little more than some other people did on the perimeter. It's a nice touch, but honestly more could have been done. Kind of all around on the exterior. This was definitely in the top 2 or 3 of planting and environment creation, but a little more could have been done on all accounts. And then another kind of common theme with all of the contestants is there's a lot of lumpiness in the fairways to be lumpy, but there's no real set strategy and no cohesiveness between like where you want to hit with the fairway contours to get a better approach to the green. There was a few and here and there, but for the most part it was a little arbitrary, and it was a little like hit and just see where you end up rather than try to aim for one particular spot of the fairway and either hit it or not. Oh, I think I have my tempo turned off from play testing my current course, so turn it back on. Alright, here we go. So there is like a little bit of a hump here for me to try to hit to. Maybe don't hit down to that dip over there, but still there could be a little more cohesiveness with this and the green. Green is pretty wavy and cool. There's a lot of runoffs and humps to kind of figure out. I got the fast going, probably because that's my normal speed, so playtesting without it, I probably just naturally hit it fast. Yeah, so this is a really cool look with the sun there and the castle's kind of right next to it. Good job there. This does kind of encroach into it a bit, but it doesn't really affect the hull, so not mad about that. I think there's some other holes where I felt like the perimeter was used a little more than it should have been for the sake of this competition, but for the par 3s, it doesn't really, since you're just supposed to fly it anyway. Alright, took too much off it. Yeah, and here is kind of more what I'm saying, and there's no real rhyme or reason. There's a little bit of hit more over here, and it's you're going against the slope, so there is a little more on this than others, but a little more could be like maybe create more of a. See, it kind of undoes itself because here you're going against the slope if you're on this side, so it's harder to stop the ball. But here, it's harder to bounce the ball up because of the kind of dip right before the green. So again, it's just a little bit of kind of just bash driver and see where you end up and then go from there. And a little more, okay, I want to try to hit to this spot to get a better angle. And, oh, I didn't even look at the distance. For this competition, I would say a 3-shot par 5 probably wasn't the best decision because there's nothing to stop me from just wanting to take 3-wood and just bash driver, bash 3-wood as far as I could. And that's kind of part of a 3-shot is putting something that makes somebody think about, okay, maybe I need to take a 5-iron and lay up before, you know, whether it's an angle to the green or some sort of hazard, that laying back is better than just basically just blindly smashing driver and 3-wood as far as possible. Again, another nice par 3. It's shorter, definitely shorter. Sand wedge is supposed to 8-iron, but you could have made one even longer to maybe have a 5-iron or a wood to create a little more difference between them. Because I guess I'll do that. But the look of it is nice with that planting. The light bushes kind of really pop and look nice. So there's a bit here, but it could have been more done, even more exaggerated, of like maybe you want to try to hit here as opposed to here, but I think you could have even made this deeper or a little more humpy or something in a way that isn't too, it's a delicate balance for sure, that wouldn't be too man-made and fake looking, but would create kind of, okay, here's a shelf you want to try to hit to for the best angle. Here you can hit, but you'll be below the green and maybe your stance will be weird and things like that. Kind of same thing. I don't really need to keep saying it, but you see what I mean. Both randomness of the fairways, and then as well here you're kind of using the perimeter a little more than is needed, or a little more than you could have, just to make it so it's not affecting the playability, although it is kind of, it's minimal here. There's others that do it a bit more that did actually get marked down. I wouldn't say you got fully marked down for that, but just something to note. This dip in the green probably need to be smoothed out. The greens are a bit arbitrary, and even with kind of wild, natural, humpy greens, you do kind of need to have a main strategy and have a main kind of concept so that there's a reason to play it a certain way rather than just kind of hit where you hit and see what happens. Okay, I see the par 3s are a good 40 yards. Granted, there is that gap in between wedge and 9-iron, or I guess pitch and wedge and gap wedge, so even though it's only a few holes away, they are further in distance. But maybe that could have been stretched more to like 200 yards, that first one, or something like that, just to give it a little more variation. But altogether, this is one of the top 4 entries, so good job, thanks for entering, and see you next time.